LV here with another installment of
Did they do you dirty or not?
Did They Do You Dirty or Not? So, a longtime supporter of my channel, thank you, I really appreciate it, sent me 7 of his cards he felt were severely undergraded by PSA. And he wanted my expertise and experience to tell him whether PSA did him dirty or they got it accurate. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Let's flip to the overhead cam and check out the cards. All right, looks like we got a 95 Marvel Metal Captain America Metal Blaster. Really cool looking card. Got a 6. Let's see if we can find the issue. It looks really clean. So let's first look at the centering. I often refer to the product set logo. It's a good starting point. You can see the gap here. It's very similar to the gap here. It's a good sign. So the centering is not the issue. It looks pretty good. Looks like Gym 10 range. And the corners look really sharp, especially for foil. Looks great. Let's look at the edges. And the edges look pretty solid. You can tell this is packed fresh. And the surface, I don't see any weird dimples or anything. So I'm thinking the culprit must be on the back. Let's go ahead and flip it. Back looks super clean too. Okay, so top 2 corners look great. Bottom 2 corners look great. And the edges look very nice. And the back centering's there. A little thinner on the left and the right, but not bad. It's got to be surface. So let's keep panning. I see it. Do you guys see it? You know, this is the second time I've seen one of these defects this week alone. So it's like these little circular imperfections that happen must happen at the factory. It's crazy. It's a perfect circle. So that's definitely not supposed to be there. And it's just like a perfect circle indent. That is what did you in. And be on the lookout for those on the back of the cards. They're always on the back. So yeah, okay. We figured it out, and that's the problem. So yes, it unfortunately, as clean and sharp as it is, it does deserve the 6. So PSA did not do you dirty on this one. Blame the factory. Okay. Next up, we actually have 2 cards from the same set, and you can tell they were graded just 2 cards apart by the cert. So it's the 92 Dairy Queen, Jason Giambi, and Mark McGuire Dairy Queens, Team USA. All right, so 5s. Let's go ahead and start with the Giambi. The centering looks there. It looks very nice, left to right. Top to bottom looks great. The corners are nice and sharp. It's pretty vibrant white. I'm thinking, you know, it's got to be surface related, and the edges look okay. So let's see if we can figure out. So I kind of see something to the surface. Do you see the texture? It's kind of like a little ripply and bumpy. Yeah, it's just throughout. Do you see that? Bumpy, ripply. Let's see if the McGuire has that. Yes. Yes, it does. See that? You know, I feel like that's what it looks like if cards get a little wet, a little damp. The surface gets a little bumpy like that. So if I had to say, I think that is the issue, but I can't be 100% sure unless I had another one of these 92 Dairy Queens from a separate batch in front of me. So if any of you out there are watching and have this type of card, 1992 Dairy Queen, Team USA's, in front of you, or easily accessible, go ahead and pull them out and do us a favor and see if the texture is like this, okay? If the texture is like this, then I'm not afraid to say I think PSA did you dirty, because there's no way that these would deserve a 5. So I'm thinking the grader saw that bumpy texture So, yeah, they both have that. The back looks very similar to the McGuire. So, yeah. If this set does have that for texture, it's normal, then they did you dirty. But if they don't have it, then I would say these cards got wet, maybe flipped over on some water accidentally, and I think that's why you got the 5. Okay, there you go. All right, next up we have a 91 Skybox Michael Jordan. This card can be deceptive when grading because you think white corners and white edges and everything should be easy to grade, but there's little surface nicks here and there and little chipping on the edges of the back of the card. And it's Michael Jordan, so it's a little bit harder to get the 10 you want. The centering looks pretty nice. Left to right looks great, and top to bottom looks great. So it's got an 8, so it's not a terrible grade. The corners do look sharp. Let's look at the surface a little bit closer. Do you see that right on top, right above his head? There's a little bit of a minor indent. And, yeah, maybe another one right around here. Do you see that right here? There's a little minor surface imperfection there. So sometimes that's all it takes, because they do grade Jordan stuff a little bit tougher. The GOAT's just a little bit tougher, so your card needs to be extra mint and gem mint for them to grade those Jordan's 10s. Let's look at the back. So the back corners look pretty nice, and the centering's there. I don't see much wrong in terms of the surface or the edges. Okay, I'm thinking that's what they saw. Those little marks right there and there. So, unfortunately, I don't think it deserves an 8. I think if I was a grader, I would probably give it a mint 9. I think it's a solid mint 9 copy. But that's only a 1 grade bump down, and it is Jordan, like I talked about. So, I can see a grader giving this an 8. So, I wouldn't say they completely did you dirty. I just think it's a mint 9, so 1 grade less they gave you. Okay, let's move on. All right, next up we have an Irvin Magic Johnson, same set, 91 Skybox as that Jordan that we just saw. This is the Barcelona. They got a 6. Again, it's nicely centered. You got the white corners and white edges. It looks pretty solid, and it's pretty vibrant white. You can tell it's packed fresh, but we all know that doesn't necessarily matter because surface imperfections can be prevalent right straight out of the factory. So I'm not seeing much. I'm looking at the surface really well, and I don't even see any tiny indents or anything. And the edges look pretty clean. Let's flip the back and see if we see anything. So back corners look pretty good, and it's centered. There's no issues with the centering. Geez, I really... This one I am perplexed a little bit about. Let me know if you guys kind of see anything, but I think this one they did do you dirty on. I'm not sure why they gave you a 6. I really have no clue. This one looks more like a mint 9 or gem to me. It would be fun just to crack it out and send it to PSA again or SGC, but that's just giving PSA a little more money when they should have got the grade right the first time. So maybe send to SGC. They're pretty consistent and accurate with this era. So yeah, I think they did you dirty on the Magic. All right, next up we actually got some vintage. It's fun for me to kind of hone my vintage grading skills. And just spotting the flaws and everything. So we have a 6 and a 5, and both of them do look very clean. Nice color. Let's go ahead and look at the 6 real quick. He went to Cornell. Look at those helmets. It's insane to me. So centering is there. If you're looking horizontally, left to right looks pretty good. Maybe a little thinner on the right. And then top to bottom, you're just looking at this gap and that, and you got a tiny bit of a tilt cut. So it dips down a little deeper over on this side. But nothing major. They wouldn't get you a 6 for that. You got a little bit of a rough cut on the edge. It's very common for vintage. But again, that's not the major flaw here. The corners look pretty nice. They look more like an 8 quality corners to me. Like sharp, but a little bit soft at the same time, if that makes sense. And the color's nice, and the surface is there. I'm not seeing anything, a real issue with that. The back looks good. Yeah, I don't see it. I'm not quite seeing it. I'm thinking this is more like a 7.5 to me. This is another one that would be fun to send to SGC just to get their opinion. But I think I would put it at a 7.5. Okay, let's look at the next card. The Bill Dudley got a 5. It actually looks nicely centered as well. No real tilt cut. If you're looking horizontal, a little bit thinner on the left than the right, not much, and a little bit thinner on the top than the bottom. But again, it's well within a mint 9 range. It's well within 60-40, I'd say. On the surface, I'm not seeing much. I see a little bit of a warp, maybe to this one. You see it kind of bends up and then back in, and then maybe up and then in again. Do you guys see that a little bit? That could be the issue. Let's see if the last one did. Did that one have a little warp? Yeah, maybe a little warp to that one. Maybe that's where they're getting you. Because these look like solid 7-8 copies. A near mint 7 to near mint to mint 8. They're really clean. That corner actually looks pretty good. It's just that old school PSA logo right there. Let's flip the back. Again, the back's centered within. Nothing major. The corners look good, and the surface is there. There's no like wax stains or anything. It's just my guess. It has to be the warping. For those of you who know vintage really well, go and comment down below and tell us how much this subtle warping can affect a vintage card. How many grade drop does it usually? What usually happens? Okay, so yeah, honestly, I'd put this one more at a 7.58. So with the warping though, I would like to do a little more research and see how much warping knocks it down. Beautiful cards though. Again, I'd like to see what SGC would give these cards. All right, as always, I appreciate you watching, and it's fun learning together and doing these videos. As always, if you have cards that you feel were severely undergraded, just go ahead and DM me on my Instagram and send them my way, and I will look them over for free, and then all you gotta do is pay shipping to me, and I would even pay return shipping. So maybe just no more than 5 cards. Okay, thanks everybody.